opinions that flop, from endings we love to the ones that should stop. He'll call out the hype, tear down the disguise, say what you're thinking but can't verbalize. No sugarcoat, no play it safe plan, just raw uncut, that's Mr. Redman. Every frame, every game, every line's fair game. If it's weak, if it's fire, he'll call it by name. This is Lights, Camera, Rant, where fandom meets fury. Yeah, you know where we stand. Strap in, speak up, turn the volume to 10, and let begin.
Welcome to the Lights, Camera, Rant podcast. Your source for the latest on movies, TV shows, and video games. Get ready for ranting, raving, and reviewing. Here is your host, Lee.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Lights, Camera, Rant. As always, I am your wonderful host, Mr. Rant, and we've got a packed episode. We're talking about Dexter, we're talking about Wednesday, and we're talking about some of the biggest things that have been announced in this past week and the fantastic trailers that have dropped that we need to talk about. And before we get into that, as always, remember to crack open a can, pour yourself a drink. For everyone who's brand new, thank you for coming and being here every single week. For everyone who's brand new, pull up a chair, get ready for a little bit of ranting. As always, I'm your wonderful Mr. Rant, where we talk about the latest in movies, TV shows, in video games, and we rant about what's the latest at the moment. So, also, I would like to say a big shout out to Warner Brothers. Thank you so much for the past week. Good to go to the premiere for the brand new Conjuring movie, which our review will be coming out for that very shortly. And look, which I've said multiple times, I am not a big horror guy. Horror is not my forte. So when I go to these movies, I'm literally that guy on the chair that just jumps at every little thing, or someone coughs in the wrong direction. That is me. Not a big horror guy. I love going to these movies because it's something obviously a little bit different. The normal things I do watch between Wednesday, Peacemaker, Dexter, and going into the more horror stuff is fantastic to see. But yeah, I'm not a big horror guy. And when I did get the invite for the Conjuring movie, I was like, yes. At the same time, a bit like, okay, I am not going to be sleeping for the next few nights. That was 4 days ago, and I haven't had a proper night's sleep since then. But next week, we've got some fantastic films coming up that I can't wait to talk about. And as always, for everyone who doesn't know, we record these episodes live every single week, and we are live on YouTube. And a big shout out to Danny, the World Lover, for thanks for coming past on the YouTube. Really appreciate it. Thanks for coming past. Appreciate you being the first. I love it when people are the first because I'm like, yeah, score. I do the exact same thing when I go follow the people that I watch live. I'm like, I try and get in straight away. I'm like, yes, right here, right now. I'm the first one. So thanks for going past. But yeah, not a big horror guy. Not a big horror guy at all. But also, thank you very much, man. Thank you very much for subscribing. And I appreciate every single person that does. Yeah, well, look. It doesn't matter what you are. The matter is you subscribe and you enjoy movies and TV shows and video games, and you come to the right place to talk about it, as because we rant about it for as long as we need to and to get everything out. So thanks for going past. But yeah, not a big horror guy. But my favorite horror film of all time, which is almost a guilty pleasure, is Friday the 13th. Nightmare on Elm Street. That's probably my guilty pleasure horror films I do watch. And it's funny when I'm talking about this because I was having the same conversation with a mate the other day. Was we need a new Friday the 13th movie. I know there's been a lot of legal battles, but we need a new one. I know it's been in the works for some time, but I think it's the Paramount Plus or HBO Max. One of the two is meant to be currently be working on a Friday the 13th prequel TV show, very much what they've done with Welcome to Derry TV show that's also premiering on HBO Max. So hopefully, just fingers crossed that comes to fruition. But hey, here we are. But yeah, thank you very much for the Conjuring. Also, if you haven't already caught it, we've also brought out my review for Caught Stealing. It's a brand new Austin Butler movie that's come out. It's a unique film, very much the 90s version of how everything, a series of unfortunate events, and a good reason why you should never, ever look after someone's pet. And it's got Matt Smith in it. So that was a really good film to watch. So definitely go check out our review for that. So if you haven't already, pull up a drink because generally 9 times out of 10 we don't record any of these episodes sober. If I can, depending on the time we're recording, but that is the case. So thank you for everybody. But let's talk about also before I go any further. I didn't realize this because we just so much been having the past weeks. We've also passed the 300 episode mark for Lights Camera Rant for this podcast. So I know this episode does say 224, but we've done bonus episodes. We've done other guest episodes. So overall, we've hit the 300 mark, which if you were telling me this 4 years ago when we started the podcast that I would be hitting the 300 mark, and I would also be going to a Superman and a Marvel premiere in the same year, I would have told you to F off because there's no way that's happening. Yet here we are. And it's all thanks to you guys. So I thank you, every single person, for the support, talking about the conversation, ranting, subscribing, all of it. It's really fun, especially building this film cinephile community, building that together. It means the world to me, especially for that 10-year-old kid who's watching Jurassic Park for the first time and just got so absolutely involved into movies. And here we are with this podcast at the moment and this show. And of course, me being Mr. Rant. Now, let's talk about something. Now, let's talk about the news, and let's talk about one of the biggest trailers that we got this past week, which I absolutely loved. This was utterly brilliant. So this year, we were getting 3 Marvel movies. We were getting 3 to 4 Marvel TV shows, and one of them that we're really excited for was Marvel Zombies. Now, Marvel Zombies is a spin-off, offcut, whatever you want to call it, from the What If series. Because with that What If series had a zombie episode that was fantastic. It was great, and there's a whole comic book run on Marvel Zombies. It is some of the most disturbing superhero imagery you ever see. Great comic book run. It's fantastic. It's got its fan base. It's well worth it. Well worth you looking into. So when they mentioned that we're doing the Marvel Zombies TV show, it was a bit like, because a lot of people have mixed feelings about Marvel Zombies, love it or hate it. Some people thought it was shit. Some people thought that, what are we, it didn't really live up to the hype. Danny, what are we talking about? So what we're going to be talking about, as I said, we're going to be talking about the latest news in pop culture, in movies at the moment, and then we're going to be talking about Wednesday and Dexter Resurrection season final. So with the Marvel Zombies, as I said, it was fantastic. What If was a bit of mixed reviews. Same with season 2, same with season 3. Not everybody loved it. It gave us some unique characters, some unique looks. Some of the episodes are fantastic. Some episodes are a little bit, did we really need this type of thing? All right. But the highlight was Marvel Zombies. So we got the trailer for that this past week. Now, it does suck the fact that we're only getting 4 episodes of it. If they're all being released at the same time on September 24th, they're all coming out. But we're getting an MA rating. The trailer had Baby Metal playing in the background. It looks brilliant. It looks bloody. It looks horrific. This is getting that rating. It's getting that full support going to this more mature side of Marvel, which I absolutely love. Hell, there's Spider-Man ripping off zombies' heads. There's Blade versus Moon Knight. It's fantastic in this awesome fight. That trailer Whoever did that trailer at Marvel needs a raise. That was peak. So great to see. So fantastic. Really draw you in. And hell, on top of that as well, the poster for Marvel Zombies looks like a classic 60s, 70s type of a horror poster, like something that you get framed. It looks that good. It has that. I don't know if grunge is the right way, but grunge or like that texture that just makes it look like a classic. That I'm just like, take my money, take all my money. This is going to be great. Again, it sucks because it's only 4 episodes. Not much you could do about that, but yeah, it does suck. But 4 episodes coming with Marvel Zombies, and it's right around the corner. And the funny thing is, when I watched the trailer for this, I was really excited, but at the same time, I was like, I completely forgot about The Eyes of Wakanda. That's another Disney Plus TV show that was meant to be like a prequel sort of thing to for Black Panther. It came out. I was like, oh, okay. I totally forgot that we're getting that. And not many people were talking about it. Like a lot of people like in the realm of what I usually talk about, no one was really talking about it. So I was like, okay, maybe it wasn't that great. So that was probably worth the miss. Now, another Marvel TV show, which I felt like it's been in development hell for a very long time. And it's a lot of people are going to be saying this at the same time, is because of the only is it been in development hell. Same with Armor Wars. Now, if you do remember, Armor Wars was going to be announced. That was going to be it was going to have Sam Rockwell in it. That was going to have Rhodey in it, and it was all going to be about Tony Suits going rogue, going all that. And it's basically been in development hell for a very, very long time. So, and the other the show that got announced was Vision Quest, which has been around ever since the very first WandaVision. Since WandaVision, Vision Quest has been right up there, and it's been delayed, it's been reworked, it's been delayed again. We don't know who's appearing in it, and finally, due to a set leak, it's finally started shooting. So if this starts shooting, just trying to think. If it starts shooting, give it the time it is. We're probably not going to see. We're going to see this late 2026, roughly, or 2027 at this point. But it's funny because all these Disney Plus TV shows of Marvel that did get announced, majority of them have appeared or have been reworked in something else. But Vision Quest and Armor Wars have been in that ever since they were announced. They've just been in that conversation for so long. And it's just like, are we ever going to get this? Are we ever going to get it? Is it just one of those pipeline? And right now, the hard thing is people looking at it at like Blade. Are we ever? Blade is. So we're not even getting Mahershala Ali for Marvel Zombies. He's not coming back to voice the character for some reason. That's a whole nother issue for a different day. But with Vision Quest, we got to find out what has happened to Vision, of course, and White Vision, and what's going to be happening for that, because you got this really powerful weapon that's going around the world, and it's not being controlled. But the bigger question is, where is this going to sit in the Marvel universe with Avengers Doomsday coming up and Avengers Secret Wars the year after? So that's the other question that's on everybody's minds. What's going to happen? But yes, we are finally, which feels like forever, we're finally beginning Vision Quest. Thank God. Also, one of the best news, which I am so excited for, was absolutely over the moon, is we're getting Superman 2. That's coming on July the 9th, 2027. Within 2 years, we'll be getting the Superman movie, which seems ridiculous because we've been waiting forever for the Batman 2. And the fact that from when we got Man of Steel, we never ever got Zack Snyder's Man of Steel 2, which I believe that was also going to be The Man of Tomorrow, this one's calling. So Lois Lane, Lex Luthor, Superman are all confirmed. All will be returning for the film. That is a quick turnaround time, and it's going to be coming out the same year as Avengers Secret Wars. So the box office for that is going to be very interesting. Now, I know a lot of people didn't like Superman. I know a lot of people were like, is it it's too woke or it's all this crap. Superman was a good film. Like, shut F up. It was a great film. It was solid. Yes, it did have stuff that needed to be worked on, like every film. But given the fact as we move further and further away from the summer blockbuster of this year, where we had Jurassic World Rebirth, we had Superman and Fantastic Four, Superman was one of the better films of those three. My trilogy of films is Fantastic Four, Superman, and Jurassic World Rebirth. I know. Jurassic World Rebirth made the money at the box office, but that film, I literally finished watching and going, oh, is that it? Okay, that was a waste of time of a film. There is so many plot holes in that. There's so many things that don't make sense, and it's one of those films where you watch it. I walk down going, did we really need this? Did we really need Jurassic World Rebirth? No, they didn't. Especially after what happened with Jurassic Park, Jurassic World Dominion, Jurassic Fallen Kingdom, and Jurassic World. Which Jurassic World has been the best out of this soft reboot of the Jurassic franchise. And the fact that even there was things that they couldn't do in Jurassic World Rebirth, like apparently Steven Spielberg said, don't really try and distance yourself further away from my franchise and my films as much as you can with this. And I can also tell you that all the Jurassic Park films that we've gone on, which I can't believe I'm saying this, that there's 7 Jurassic Park / World films together, that is going to be the least one I'm ever going to watch again. In a total spectrum of films at the moment, with this Jurassic, I'd say Jurassic World Rebirth, Jurassic Kingdom. I'll watch Dominion. I'll watch Jurassic World, Jurassic Park 3, Jurassic Park 2, and Jurassic Park. From top to bottom, from the very best. Sorry, that was bottom to top. Sorry. But, yeah. And I know a lot of people didn't like Jurassic Park 3. I still loved it. I thought it was still a good ride. It's more of that horror vibe. Jurassic World Rebirth was apparently meant to be more of a horror vibe. It wasn't. It was not. You go back and watch Lost World and Jurassic Park 3. They were a lot better of a horror film and give you nightmares. Trust me, I did get those nightmares from those films. But, kids and dinosaurs, it makes the money. But this is, which I said to my review about Jurassic World Rebirth, this Jurassic Park franchise needs to have a rest. It needs to be laid dormant for another 65 million years. Not that much, but it needs to slow down. No one is clamoring for the fact that we need a sequel to this right away. We can wait. Universal, if you're listening to me, we can wait for another Jurassic Park. There's no rush. But sorry to go off like a complete tangent about Jurassic Park. Going back to Superman is the fact that we're getting a Superman so quickly. And James Gunn tweeted about this. We see Lex Luthor's iconic green suit, which James Gunn has mentioned that may appear in the future, which would be fantastic. And it's so hard when I see this. I'm like, oh my God, we're getting a sequel to this so quick. And I'm like, and we're still waiting on Batman 2. We're still waiting on Blade. We're still waiting on Shang-Chi 2. We're still waiting on Doctor Strange 3. It's just it just makes you go in that whole despair of, oh, it's nice that this came so quick. Why can't we get these ones to be so quick? Why can't we get that any quicker than that? But, Superman is going to be becoming the flagship for the DCU moving forward. That's very apparent because the Batman 2 is still so far away. Still so far away. And even further away to that is the Batman and Robin movie that James Gunn spoke about, called The Brave and the Bold. That is, I think, a very far pipeline away. And I just was reading today that apparently that Robin movie they'll be making with Dick Grayson and Jason Todd. Yeah, Jason Todd, is that's apparently that script is being reworked as well, which is not a good sign. So yeah, but don't worry, we're still got the Lanterns TV show coming, and also we'll talk about Clayface. But Superman fans, Superman 2 is coming, The Man of Tomorrow, and you only have to wait 2 years before we have James Gunn go, ooh, it's delayed. It's been delayed, which let's hope that doesn't happen. But something that needs to be nailed correctly, needs to have all the money, Amazon money, thrown at it to give it that full experience, is the brand new God of War TV show that apparently we start shooting in March next year, which means we won't get until 2027. So at the moment, they're currently going through casting at the moment. So that's great. So we officially have the rough filming date for God of War. So it is in full production coming March next year, and how it's going to be looking. Now, a lot of people have been asking, how is this God TV show going to sit? How it's going to look? All we know about it at this stage is that it will be jumping off the point from God of War 4. That's where it's going to be going. So it might be doing flashbacks to God of War 1, 2, and 3, but it's only really going to be doing God of War 4 with an elder Kratos going into this. But the fact that it's coming, that's fantastic. I mean, I'm just really hoping I really want Amazon to throw the money at this, because the fact, if a God of War TV show is done right, this is going to be peak television. I'm talking like a mix of Fallout TV show on that perfect video game adaptation to TV show, Game of Thrones type of vibe, Vikings type of vibe. It's gonna be bloody. It's gonna be heartbreaking, especially we know how God of War Ragnarok ends. It's just going to be fantastic if they do it. And trust me, there's a lot of history and material that they can go off to pump a few seasons on. Even if you spend an entire season going back on Kratos, on how, which they will have to touch on, is how he became the God of War, why his skin's white, what happened to him. His Zeus is his father. All of this going, and that's what we have to be seeing in this. So fingers crossed. But God of War fans, it looks to be full steam ahead. Also, we did get both the official release date and the official cast of the upcoming Street Fighter movie, which looks to be absolutely jam-packed. So the Street Fighter movie is coming out on October the 16th, 2026. So that will be one of the latest, newest video game to TV adaptations. Movie adaptations that we will be getting fresh for next year going into this. So that will be coming out. So we get the official cast. It looks like it's stacked. My curious thing is that when you look at the character, look who's playing the character, then you look at the character they're meant to be playing, you're a bit like, how are you going to look? Especially Cody Rhodes' character with the flat top. I'm like, how are you going to nail this? And we've got Roman Reigns in there as well. So we've got a couple of wrestlers coming into this. So I'm really stoked to see how this is going to come out. But yes, next year, October, we're beginning. So that will be one video game movie we're beginning, and the other one being Mortal Kombat. Also, I reported this on last week that this was a rumor, but it's officially been posted that Paramount will be producing a upcoming Call of Duty movie based on the hit video game. So how it's going to look, shape, form, that's all up in the air for what that's going to look like. I'm curious to know what it's going to look like, which time period they're going to look at. Are they going to look at, I said this last week, are they going to look at Black Ops? Are they going to go to World War II? Are they going to go in the future? Is it going to Modern Warfare? So there's a lot that they can delve in, but that is official. Now, this is another story that it could be true. It would make sense. And I don't know why Activision said no, but apparently Steven Spielberg wanted to make a Call of Duty movie, and Activision was like, yeah, nah. I'm like, what do you mean? How do you go to one of the most iconic directors of all time who's made more money than you ever, and then you turn around and go, yeah, nah, we don't know what you're going to do with it. So that's the weird thing about that. But in the fact that Steven Spielberg, which, he also did Saving Private Ryan, he's done Warhorse, so he would understand it. Don't know if there was a script that you didn't like, but hope it was worth saying no. And then I just think about Halo. All the directors that were attached to that first thing with Halo, I'm like, God, man, if we got the Peter Jackson Halo movie, if we got the Steven Spielberg Halo movie, all of that would just been so much better. And that's just such a sad thing. Not to go on another tangent, is the Halo franchise. And the reason I bring this up is because we talk about video games, is that, right now, Helldivers brought out the ODST pack, which I absolutely love. I bought it straight away. It's fantastic. You feel it. The guns, all of it is great. And I did see someone say that, Helldivers Arrow Studios made a better Halo game than what 343 have done. And look, 343 Studios, which are now called Halo Studios, look, Halo 4 wasn't that bad. You had a momentous uphill battle making a video game a sequel to one of the best video games of all time to wrap up one of the most iconic trilogies of all time. That's something really hard. And in saying that, PlayStation did that with God of War. They did that perfect. They did that perfectly, and we got God of War and God of War Ragnarok that just set the bar even higher, which is insane thing to do. But Halo being what it is that this should have been a movie or a franchise above or anything that, we can turn this into a movie. We can do this. The lore into it. And look, yes, oh my God, you have a character that you can't see his face. Give him a companion. He still can talk. He can still talk. And I think it's like, well, look at Deadpool. He's got his mask on for the entire time. If you really wanted to show his face, which was very controversial, you could have done that all when he was a kid or being a teenager or anything like that. You could have done that. And if you had like Peter Jackson or Steven Spielberg making a Halo movie, it would have been fucking great. Like, it would have been backed up CGI. You want to talk like Avatar CGI. You had a mix of the Warhol mix with Steven Spielberg's with Saving Private Ryan and all that. Like, throw that all in together, and it would have been a print money. And a big shout out to the man, Mr. Mark My Words, for coming past the YouTube chat. Thanks for being here, man. Thanks for coming past. Yeah, so there's so much thing they could have done with Halo, and it's just, and we got the TV show, which, I don't know, that was just, first season was shit. Second was a lot better, and now it's just, we're not gonna get a season 3, but it's a complete missed opportunity. Someone, please, some studio, Amazon, somebody invest and make a movie of this. Paramount, like, come on, someone give us. Yeah, Halo's on Netflix, Mr. Mark My Words. Halo is on Netflix because which it did see, the numbers for Halo TV show did see great numbers on Netflix, which did spark a whole conversation whether or not they're going to make a season 3. But it's just, and it's just not what's going to happen. They're not going to make a season 3. And Paramount obviously gave it to Netflix to give the show breathe new life into it because it really did need to, really did. But we're not going to get that now, and it just sucks the fact that, but at least Halo did get an adaptation, another movie franchise that should have been able to be turned into a movie, has all the material for it, is currently seeing a resurgence because of the PlayStation portal. Is Gears of War. Gears of War has all the blueprints for an emotional movie that should have been made into a movie, being the fact how many Gears of War there is. And I've seen so many PlayStation players love Gears of War now. It's on PlayStation, which to me was still a wild thing, seeing a PlayStation game on Xbox with the logos and then seeing Xbox game with the logos on the PlayStation Store. And it's funny, I do speak about it, which I've said, Halo is the one that's going to make the jump. And I've said this before, you don't have to give us Halo 1, 2, or 3, or 4, or 5, or 6. Actually, if you just do the Halo trilogy and ODST, and Reach, that'd be great. But just give us Halo. Just give us the remastered version and just drop that on PlayStation. You will see the numbers. You'll see the numbers in multiplayer. You'll see it all there, especially now with the slight hype with Helldivers and going to Halo. Trust me, they'll hype in there. If Gears of War won't show you in this, trust me when Indiana Jones game, which I still haven't purchased, that was on my wish list. I'm just waiting for it to go on sale because I'm like, I could play Indiana Jones, but I'm like, Helldivers just dropped out a new skin and new weapons. Everyone's getting murdered because of the new update. So that's the other thing as well. So, but yeah, Halo, it's an absolute darn shame what's happened to that. But yeah, Call of Duty and Paramount coming soon. Just give it the next 2 years. I don't know if it's going to look as a movie or TV show, but we will be seeing a Call of Duty something come to the big screen, which is going to be wild. Also, something looks fantastic. So, Gamescom, we got the first trailer for 007 First Light. Love the trailer. Looks fantastic. And just recently, we got further gameplay. This looks like a mix between Uncharted and oh my god, I just had the other thing that was on the tip of my tongue. Uncharted and like a little bit Last of Us, kind of just that type of gameplay. This looks really good. It's still wild to me the fact that the actor who's playing James Bond also played Dexter in Original Sin. So that was first time I saw that, I was like, that's weird, but I'm all in for it. But sorry, that wasn't The Last of Us. Hitman. Hitman was the other one. I don't know where The Last of Us from. But yeah, Uncharted, Hitman, this looks like it's great. But the game looks crisp. The gameplay looks great. I just hope that when it drops, it will live to it. But it looks pretty good. I'm all in for this. And it's actually coming out March 27th next year. So it's already my hit list for next year. And so is, which we really have, I want to say White Lotus, but it's not White Lotus. It's from the same guys that made BioShock. What's it called? Damn it, I can't remember what it's called. It's on the tip of my tongue. It's from the guy BioShock. It's been Cubis. No, not Cubis. Oh fuck, what's it called? What's the game called? It's gonna bug me. I'll just have to come back to it. It'll come back to me later. But that game looks really good. And that was meant to come out this year, how it's been delayed. And at this stage, very much it looks like it won't be coming out next year. Maybe we'll get some announcements at the Game Awards this year coming in December. But fingers crossed. And not to mention Cyberpunk 2. I forget that's also in production at the moment. So I'm all in for that. Cyberpunk is one of those games that I picked up because it just looked like Grand Theft Auto mixed with Blade Runner. And that game, once all the bugs were done, did not disappoint. And trust me when I say, is if people are still on the fence for the game, just dive in. It's a massive world. There's a lot to do with it. Trust me when I say you will have a good time with it. It's all in there for it. So definitely go check that out. Same with the brand new James Bond. As I mentioned, Clayface has started shooting. Yay, a movie that will be without Batman. Fan-bloody-tastic. Now, if Mark is still watching, I don't know if he's going to like this or not because he's a huge Alien Romulus fan, is that the director of Alien Romulus has come forward and said that he will not be directing the sequel. He will be staying on as a producer. Same with Ridley Scott. And they're currently looking for a director at the moment, which is a little bit gut-wrenching because I'm like, you made such a good Alien movie. You made such a good Alien movie, and now, like, producers still great, but I'm like, kind of wish you were behind the helm of this, going to the sequel, which right now, the Alien franchise is absolutely winning it. Between Alien Romulus last year and Alien Earth right now, which is killing it. And hopefully that's going to happen with Predator Prey upcoming as well. That's going to do fantastic, which they did with the TV show. The Killers TV show did fantastic. So it'd be interesting to see what's going to happen from that. But look, you could sell a producer, you could do all that. I just hope the fact it doesn't. Then we get this sequel, you're like, oh yeah, this is just a one and done, and it probably should have been. You probably should have been directing it. I know a lot of people don't like that, especially me. I'm a bit like, oh shit, a little bit worried, but. Let's see what happens. Now, Tron is coming around. It's coming October. I'm going to do whatever I can to get to the premiere of that because that's going to be outstanding. And I hope it's going to be IMAX as well. A movie like this, you have to see in IMAX. Same thing with F1. Next time F1 comes in theaters, I'm definitely gonna be watching. Sorry, next time it comes in IMAX, I'll definitely be watching that. So the director of the latest Tron, Justin Springer, has come forward and said that it is not a sequel to the Tron films, in the sense of like a direct sequel to Tron Legacy. It is set in the Tron universe in this world. So basically, what's that telling me is that this is slightly an original Tron story in the Tron universe, but they did not want to be tied down by the Tron Legacy storyline. It looks mad. Like Tron, the brand new Tron looks brilliant. Could not be more pumped for this or ready for this. It's been one of my top picks for this year. Hopefully this will be really positive for wow, I forgot his name too. The lead singer of 30 Seconds of Mars, Jared Leto, because I know he's had a bit of rough trot with his latest movies. So hopefully this will be an absolute banger for him because it looks like it, and it's a great concept. You know, last two Tron films, of course, have all been set inside the Tron, in the Tron world. But the fact that Tron world is now becoming into the real world, what does that mean and how it's going to look is fantastic. So I'm really excited to see what it's going to look like. But it's interesting to know that it's not a direct sequel. So what elements, because we know obviously Jeff Bridges is also coming back in it, but what elements from the previous movies are we going to see? Who's going to make an appearance? That's all the questions that I'm really looking forward to. Also, one of the biggest trailers that we got last week was the brand new trailer for the 28 Days Later Bone Temple, which is the sequel to the film that came out this year. It's coming out in January. I'm pretty sure that is one of the shortest times, if the shortest time between sequels. And we do know they were shot back to back. But generally, what happens is that when a film's shot back to back, they're usually given a year break. So if you get May 2026 Avengers, then you get May 2027 for the next one. Same thing with Harry Potter. Same thing with Hunger Games. Technically, technically Pirates of the Caribbean 2 and 3 because they were shot back to back. So the fact that it's only going to be like 7 months and we're getting the sequel, which still looks like, the same movie, if you know what I mean. Which this is going to have Cillian Murphy in it as well. I know a lot of people are like, where's Cillian Murphy for this one? I'm like, he's coming. He's coming. Relax. He's going to be in the sequel. Calm down. Everyone just calm down a little bit. He's coming. So that's going to be around the corner. But yeah, the trailer looks great. It looks a lot darker than and a lot more action is going to be happening. All the characters are returning from the first one. So I'm all in for this. I can't wait. And the fact it's only January, which, my God, as I'm like recording this, like we're in September. And we're only three and a half months away from the end of the year. And I need to start thinking about my Christmas episode. I need to start thinking about my Christmas leave. Like the year is just gone. It just seemed like, because I was so excited for my trip that we went in January, we went to Europe. I was just so excited, just wanted to get there. And, since coming back, getting back in the swing of things, and then like just planning out everything, the weeks, the Christmases, Christmas, the friends' birthdays, everything else in between. It's like, God damn, before we know it, we're going to be telling everyone goodbye on Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve, like hello on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, but saying goodbye for that last day of work. And fuck, damn, so quick. But yeah, 28 days. The trailer looks good. So, okay, talking about Wednesday. So Wednesday wrapped up this week. We got the last 4 episodes. And look, to be honest with it, I think the first season was better with Wednesday. I don't know, seemed a little bit more fresher with the Wednesday. But season 2 still hit that mark. It's definitely left you enough for wanting season 3, which season 3 has been announced. Which, if they start shooting very soon, hopefully we'll get it in 2027. Because, you're definitely not going to get it next year. Or if anything, it's going to be the same time. It's going to be October for Halloween, which I'd hope so. Just these shows just taking these big breaks. Like, I get things take time. It's just, I don't know. I guess it's a hard thing that I do have. Is that with Netflix, it's like, hey, here's 4 episodes. Like, so thanks. Here's another 4 episodes because we split up this season, and then that's season 2. But it feels so much shorter because I know they want to expand the hype and keep going. And, Netflix's mission, the fact that when you get a show, you get the whole thing. But, maybe bump it up to 10 episodes at least. Don't stretch it out, but at least you get 5 and you get 5. But 4 seems too short. It's like 4 episodes. I'm just going to run through this. All right, 4 episodes. I'm going to run through this, which is great. And we're done. Done for a very long time. And that's the gut-wrenching thing that I do have with this. But trust me, the characters, the ending, the death, it is crime, it is horror. Jenna Ortega does a fantastic job. Going into Tim Burton's world is brilliant. I love the aesthetics. It gives enough for season 3, which I'm very intrigued, especially what's happened to Enid, what's happened to to Wednesday's auntie that we're going to be seeing. The fact that Wednesday must die, that's a whole thing that's going to look what's going to be happening going into that. So really cool. Hopefully none of the characters experience any legal or assault charges, which happened this season. But Wednesday is doing a fantastic job. I love the characters. It still kept me intrigued all the way to the ending. It's one of the things I do love. It just gives that good murder mystery of like, oh my God, that. Oh, especially like with spoilers, what happened with Thing. You find out who Thing's hand belongs to, and that's a whole nother thing entirely. Going, oh my God, is he bad? Is he good? The whole love between Adam's family and Thing. So that's always intrigued me. And Wednesday season 1 was a huge hit because of the dance. that completely blew up. They did try to do another dance this season. Really cool. That was great to see. They did a fantastic job on that. And of course, this season we did get I was about to say Katy Perry. No, we got oh my god, I just totally forgot her name. I could see her name. Oh my god. I can't remember her name at the moment. I'm gonna, as soon as I see it, I'm gonna be like, boom, straight off the bat. Right, yeah, Lady Gaga. I was like, what? Yeah, we got Lady Gaga. She had a cameo in that, which we knew that was arriving. She plays a ghost. She fit that pretty well. Of course, all the promotional stuff, and they did the dead dance as well. So I know a lot of people might not like Wednesday. It's well worth the watch. It does get bloody, and I do feel bad for Christopher Lloyd's character, who died very gruesomely. Let's just say he's not got much brains to think anymore, which is a bit gruesome. But I do like how it does float on that between those like murder mystery to really dark and gruesome to jump back to murder mystery, and not to mention the episode where Enid and Wednesday swap bodies was great. So the show is great. It's just a darn shame that you feel like you get these 4 episodes and then boom, we're not going to see this again for another 2 years. So happy waiting for just another 8 episodes, and that's the hard part with these streaming episodes. But definitely let me know, what did you think of Wednesday? What you didn't like, what you did hate, or who do you want to see in the next season? Who do you want to make another appearance, or how much more darker do you want it to go? Entirely. But let's talk about my favorite TV show. Let's talk about Dexter Resurrection. So when this got announced, I was absolutely excited for this. I was excited, especially after we're having a New Blood. We got the trailer. The cast in this was stacked going into this show, and just going off the back of the hype for Dexter Original Sin, which is really gut wrenching that's been cancelled. We will not be getting a season 2 of that, even though Paramount did announce a season 2, which is weird. Just to be like, yeah, you're getting a season 2. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say that? I meant, no, you're not getting that at all. Did you enjoy it? Did you get good numbers? Yeah, it doesn't matter when you're not getting a season 2. But I have seen that the actor who plays Masuka in it is going nuts on TikTok to try and sign the petition, which looks like it's going pretty good. So hopefully, fingers crossed for him that he gets up to that next level. So as we know, we've seen it with Dexter, and it perfect tied in between New Blood, like the fact that he was reflecting with his life because he was in a coma. Batista's on the run with him, and then we got the 10 episodes. But see, the thing is, here's the thing with compared Netflix and Paramount is that we did get 10 episodes, but we got 1 episode per week. So it was a drawn out process, which is fine. I don't mind 10 episodes a week. I just hate this bullshit of here's 4 and here's 4 later, which they did with Invincible season 2. Here's 4 and here's 4 later. Have fun waiting for a whole period of time. But with Dexter as well, we got 10 episodes. So there was 10 weeks that you were getting. I'm fine with that. And as we're talking about this, there is no official confirmation with season 2 that has not been announced. And we will be going into spoiler territory. So if you haven't already, definitely go watch the show and come back. But we're going to be going into spoiler territory for this. So going off the back of Original Sin and New Blood, we rejoin with Dexter and Harrison. And trust me, it has been great to see Dexter struggling with being a father, technically coming back from the dead, trying to make a normal life, but he's not. But he's normal. His past life comes to haunt him with Batista, who's on the run, who believes the fact he is the Bayhawk Butcher, which we do reach the demise of Batista, unfortunately. Not at Dexter's hands, but it's a very gut-wrenching scene to watch because you're just like, he was one of his best friends. He was there at the wedding. He's been the character from season 1 all this way. And, he did believe him. He's backed him all this way. And just, that's what happened to him. And seeing Dexter go in this element of, going to New York, meeting Leon, basically being invited to a serial killer country club type of style, going in with that, him killing them nearly all off one by one, and meeting a serial killer fanatic who has this museum that has references from his brother, Brian Moser, being an ice truck killer, seeing his old deck of blood slides, the Gemini killer, all that, going in this element, and him still trying to be a dad. And of course, the cops hunting him down as well. So I think the show did a fantastic job of balancing out what you like about Dexter, him being a new environment like New York City, him trying to reconnect with Harrison, and being a dad. Because, with the show, with Dexter's character, there's two things that's either going to happen. He's either going to get caught or he's going to die. Those are the two things, which is what a lot of people didn't like the ending of the original Dexter season 8. People thought that was very dismal. And I agree. I went back and I rewatched all the Dexter seasons, and I still think that way. And you're like, this is such a, just like a, we have no other plan. Or this is it. This is all we got for him. This is all we could do. Like, such a great TV show, such a hit TV show, and that's just how you end it, which happens to multiple TV shows, which you can be grateful for that. Not every TV show gets an ending. At least Dexter did, but not the ending we did want. And then with New Blood, him being in a completely new environment, him trying not to be a killer, him trying to be away from everything. Then Harrison, there's a killer in town. Harrison coming into the fold. Everything that happened, that was great to see. Again, that was still a better ending. That's how it ended if he died. And then from there, him getting Dexter Resurrection, because I know people like myself want to see him more trying to be that dad, him trying to live this normal life, but he can't do it because his past keeps following him, which might happen if they do a season 2, because Quinn, Masuka's still there. I know that his original old friends have started dwindling, so something's going to come up. But the fact that he's also got a whole bunch of, thanks to Leon's little draw of serial killers, he's basically got a buffet of killers that he's going to follow. But, it was great seeing in the last episode, especially him talking to Leon, just like, this is my code. People can't believe he has a code. Also Brian Moser came back for a cameo, which was great, to giving that two sides of the coin between him and his dad. But the fact that him saying, I have a code, you gave me the buffet. Trust me when I say is I really enjoyed it for a brief time. And the money that you can give me for Harrison, so much, but no, I'm going to kill you. But one thing I do love is the fact that he went, when he, obviously we know what Dexter does, he goes to slice their cheek and take their blood slide. But the fact that he says to him, I'm not going to do that because I don't want to remember you. You are not a trophy to me, when he has him on this slab, is just, whoa. Like, the fact that you're worth killing, but you're not worth remembering, from a guy who likes to remember every single one of his kills, is insane. And the fact that Dexter's also going off with his original slides as well, from him being the Bay Harbor Butcher, sets up perfectly. We get the Dexter monologue at the end, and for the first time, Dexter actually talks to the audience and breaks the fourth wall, going, this is who I am, this is who I'm meant to be, and turns around to the audience, is like, this is who you want me to be. And it's true, because we want to see him struggle. We want to see every hero struggle. And the whole conversation is, as I've just said, is hero, is Dexter a hero? And then once you go with Dexter, you also go into the same categories like you talk about the Punisher. For what the Punisher does. And then you go into the whole story of Batman. And the mythos of, can you avenge evil without becoming it? Or the fact that, killing one person doesn't equal the same right. So that's an entire conversation that you can have that goes in with these heroes and the justification of what they're killing. Like, people, the fact that Dexter has killed people that were innocent due to circumstances, not his fault, or he's been stuck. So that has happened. But you're watching it, and again, the writing for this TV show was great. It kept you suspenseful. It kept you on the edge of your seat. It kept you going, wanting more, and what was going to happen next. The fact that not only is Dexter trying to save his own skin, but the fact he's got Harrison as well. And he basically, beginning of the show, he gets this entire buffet of what is going to be friends, colleagues, what this could mean, like-minded people, and he still rejects it because of his son. And look, the thing is, she's not going to appear, but I would wish there was at least one character I do wish that came past to talk to his head for at least 2 episodes would be Rita. Just for Rita to be there, to be like, what are you doing about our son? Seeing what you've become, seeing all of this. But at the same time, Rita didn't know who he really was. So it'd be all in his head. So it would be all in his head, which these characters obviously are. But just hearing Rita talk to him in his head about Harrison would be interesting. It would be fantastic to hear that type of dynamic going into it. But look, if Dexter finished today, finished with this season, and we didn't get another season, it's fine. I do an original sin season 2 because they did a great job on that side of the fence. But for another one, I don't think the thing is, you can make it, but then again, it's going to just be the same thing. Someone else from Dexter's past hunting him, more troubles with Harrison, try and do that. There's going to be a point where the fact he's going to get caught. He can't do this forever. He's done so well to fake his own death, be shot in the heart, get away from killing someone above a ball full of cops, and go on a giant yacht cruise as his boat, which I'm sure that's a little bit more noticeable than anything else. And just get away is that if there is another season, he's going to have to cuck it. There's no way they can ride off into the sunset. I think it's going to be one of those things that he's not going to be able to get away forever going forward. But the show, definitely, for Dexter fans, you're going to love it. The hype going into it, especially, there's a whole thing going about the New York Ripper. Could he also be the next villain for the TV show? Because there's a whole world of reference is for him, or what that means, what that could be. So the show definitely leaves it open. For 10 episodes, you got that feeling of, the fact, okay, they've right the wrongs of the past for the season 8 final. Great. They've kept the momentum from New Blood, which is great. And they've tied it into and we got a lot of cameos from the original characters from the original TV show. So it was the perfect blend. It was the perfect momentum, and how it ends is still a satisfying ending, which still leaves you that question mark of what's going to happen next for Dexter and Harrison. Will Harrison become a cop, or will his dark urges still point through? But I would love to know, what do you think about Dexter? What you didn't like about Dexter? Do you want to see it next season, or you don't want to see it next season at all? And just leave it at that. Let me know in the comments. And I appreciate everyone for coming past in this episode and live commenting. I do really appreciate it. Appreciate all love. And definitely, if you haven't already, please check out our socials where we do a whole lot more ranting as always. And until next time, happy ranting.
Thanks for listening to Lights, Camera, Rant. If you like the show, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. While you're at it, leave us a rating and review, and be sure to tell your friends. Until next time, happy